In the summer of 1994, four teens entered an abandoned building in Gravesend, Brooklyn. It was the last time they would be seen alive. With few clues and no witnesses, the case went cold. But for Anthony Brewer, the brother of one of the victims, the search never stopped. In 2024, he acquired evidence from the police that contained DNA samples that didn't match the teens. That discovery put his life and the life of his family in grave danger. Goosebumps, The Vanishing. All episodes now available on Disney Plus and Hulu. On DisneyPlus.Disney.com. Rated TV 14LB.
So you got people who like to move like ghosts. You got people who like to be real goblins. And then you have some people that are just really good for your spirit. And this is the season to distinguish who is who. And how are you for yourself? Guys, what's good? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast, where the goal is to rise above it all, stay elevated, create that infinity, and up your you. Happy October. I'm your host, Isaiah, and this is my favorite time of year, guys. My favorite time of year. I just love October. I mean, Halloween, right? But also, I think just fall season does something for me. I'm a little under the weather, so please bear with me and thank you for your patience as my voice probably checks in and out. Got the sniffles. I have not been feeling well. So all of my subscribers, shout out to my subscribers. I will definitely be giving you guys some goodness. I just haven't been able to really talk these last couple of days. Yeah, I haven't been doing well. And I was like, man, I hate not recording podcast episodes. It's funny. I tell you guys about self-care and then I'm like, all right, cool. I got to do this. If I can do it, I will do it. So that's kind of where I am. How are you guys? What did you learn from last month? What did you learn? Just think about that. What did I learn? What did I value? What did I feel grateful for? What did I feel challenged by, right? What was good to me, right? What was a lesson for me? I had a few experiences that really kind of, set things into place. And, it's Halloween season, it's spooky season, right? So when you talk about people who ghost, right, there are also people who Casper. They kind of float in and out, and they try to be friendly, right? They come around when it's convenient for them, right? And they try to, get in good with you and bypass the wrongdoings and what's necessary to probably have a conversation about, And that's interesting because, a lot of times it is people that we may care for, but have shown us that they don't really care for us to that capacity. And even if they do, they are not exhibiting it properly. You don't have to contort yourself to try to see the care in somebody else's negligence, okay? You don't have to do that. That's not how things work. That's not how it works. So, I was thinking about that, how relationships work and what people feel they are entitled to and what they are willing to show up with. And, just kind of honestly deciding, guys, does this feel good for me? And a lot of times there are people who are obviously expecting a certain level of things from others that they don't show up with or they don't even give to themselves. And that's a whole other thing, right? Holding people to a certain level of accountability that you yourself don't even hold yourself to is selfish. Also very self-centered. Also very hypocritical. That's the word I'm looking for. So, that's something to think about. There are goblins in your life, right? People who are just, excessively toxic and they are continuously creating some level of mischief. And that's just not healthy, right? they're goblins. It's like you never know if they're lurking around some damn corner, right? When you have good news, how are they with that? Right? I'm just like talking off the fly, but it was just something I was thinking about. Like when you think about the people in your life, you got people who ghost, right? They come back around every now and then. They're like residual haunts, right? They tend to pop back up during certain times. And usually when they pop back up, we see it as like, oh, this person misses me. And it's like, sometimes they miss the access to you, right? Because if they really cared about you, they would have been a little bit more present past their ego. You get me? So that's just always something to be mindful of. Yes, there are some people who are remorseful. However, you can very much be discerning about who has access to your life moving forward, especially if they've already had it and they've shown you how they were willing to treat that, right? You don't owe it to anybody to be hurt twice. Always remember that. And when it comes to goblins, like, we're all toxic. I hear that, we all have toxic behaviors. However, if somebody's, is just absurdly toxic, unhealthy, careless, reckless, and they are not really adding anything to your life in any kind of capacity in a healthy way, be mindful of that. The conjurers, right? When you share good news with certain people, how they respond to that good news, right? How bothered do they feel about you being happy and you being well? Do they overtalk your accomplishments? That's something to be mindful of too, right? When somebody tries to hijack a conversation when you were doing well or you're sharing something with them, they pop up with something about them. It's interesting, very interesting. And then you just have people that are good for your soul, right? Those good angels, the people that are good for your spirit. And as we know, those are very, I think, it's not that it's just hard to come by. It's just, I think what's unfortunate is that there are a lot of people who are seeking levels of comfort. And sometimes comfort looks like being okay with how we treat others because we are going to seek other company. Like we're just willing to jump around, right? Without really standing still and holding ourselves accountable in the spaces that we've already occupied, right? It's very interesting how certain people move. So when we think about how hard it is to just find good connections or intentional connections, it's because a lot of people just are not only were they not raised to do that, sometimes they were, but it's what they are doing about it now. If somebody is a full-grown adult and they keep using their past experiences as an excuse to be crappy to other people, that's not okay. And you don't owe that. You don't owe that to a person to constantly be there for that and to endure that. That's not on you. That's not your job. That's not your responsibility. And then when there are good people that come into your life, it may scare you a little bit, right? It may scare you a little bit because it seems like, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop? Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it won't. Okay. There are people who have been through a lot in life and you wouldn't know it. The reason why is just because of how they move, right? And how they're treating you authentically. Some people just get it. Some people just truly get it. And I think this is the time of year where we kind of hunker down, right? We hunker down, we prepare for the next year, and we reflect on what the year was. And I just want you to pay attention to the people in your life who felt like ghosts, goblins, and just people that were good for your spirit. The ones who popped in and out of your life when it was convenient for them. The ones who just made it a point to not add much good to your life. And then the ones who were just present and made it a point to just take care of you with the most intention, care, and respect, right? Just really try to take care of you to the best of their ability and made sure that you were good. Just think about that. And also, I want you to think about the things that you may be afraid to do and, scared to try or lean into. And for what reasons, right? What's got you spooked? Okay? What's got you spooked in life? right? Is it a new relationship after coming out of a hard one? Is it a goal, right? Right? Is something that you want to do, but either you're afraid of how people around you may think of it, or you're afraid that you may not be good at it. What has got you spooked? Lean into it, right? Trick or treat, right? And the beauty about doing something that scares you and trying something new that's important to you is that you will learn something. You will benefit from that situation always. You have to trust that. You have to believe that. Okay? You cannot fail. You cannot fail. So as afraid as you may be that you will not. I can promise you that. You'll learn something. You fail forward, right? Yeah, I think it's just so crazy. We do spend a lot of time in our heads, right? We'll spend so much time in our heads thinking about a thing that we'll never even do, or thinking about things that probably won't ever happen, right? But we're just so occupied with things going wrong that we don't look at what can be right, okay? Or we're so occupied with relationships that are not treating us right. We fear if I step away that this person's not going to like me, or they're going to go tell people about me or whatever. Who the hell cares? Why does it matter what somebody tells other people about you if, one, you were good to those people, right? And two, those people were not caring for you the way they should have been or the way you deserved? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, think about that. What someone thinks of me doesn't matter if they didn't think of me when it mattered. Okay? Always remember that. What someone thinks of me doesn't matter if they didn't think of me when it matters. And I think that's what we have to kind of resolve with. Okay? Look at the people you're so concerned about, because a lot of times those people are not concerned with how they're treating you. And that's okay. You know? It's even better when you kind of keep them on the outskirts of your life versus having them a little closer to spots that can be damaged potentially. So just be mindful, right? Just be mindful. It is spooky season, so I want you to pay attention to the things that scare you. Does success scare you, right? Because in order for you to be successful, you may have to let go of a lot of things, self-limiting beliefs, unhealthy relationships. You may have to stop sharing good news with certain people because you recognize that they are never happy for you. Okay. Success can be a very scary thing for a lot of people. Very scary for a lot of people. The reason why is because it truly does come with a level of sacrifice. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Okay. So what scares you? And what are you dressing up as, right? How much do you hide your truest self from you and from others? What costume do you wear in life? That's also important. Are you wearing a costume that you know is going to allow you to kind of fade into the background and not draw attention? Or are you wearing the costume that you know is dope as hell and that will kind of draw eyes? Okay. How afraid of yourself are you? All these things matter, y'all. All these things matter. And I think it's so much to truly process and think about and consider. We got 3 months left. What is it? October, November, December. So 3 months. If you're counting this month, 3 months. I want you to really think about, what am I fearful of? What relationships feel a little bit more solid to me? What relationships have I had to reevaluate this year? What have I learned about certain things in my relationships with them? How do I feel about that? Right? What can I do differently? What was I accountable for? What was I responsible for? Did I do my best? You have nothing to fear if you are leading with intention and you are treating people with the utmost respect and care. Okay, so that boogeyman of self-doubt, don't let it override your life. You know, sometimes it is the people who care, who are kind of ridden with this element of guilt or thinking that they did things wrong because the other person hasn't been present, or, you know, have made them feel like they were wrong. Sometimes that's not the case, right? See how people treat you on their own terms, right? See how people exist in their own spaces. See how people move when it's not convenient for them, and then you go from there. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna start incorporating workshops. I'm gonna put a poll on this episode on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, but yeah, I think I might incorporate workshops. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. I do have open slots available for new clients, taking new clients. And yeah, if you're down to do the work, we'd love to work with you. But yeah, man, I hope you guys take care of yourselves. I'm going to try to go take care of myself too, because I am not doing the best. But I wanted to give you guys something to start off October. And I think there might be some horror stories I'll be writing up. And I got a little surprise for you guys by the end of this month too. Something I've been working on. All right, so with that, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Shout out to my subscribers. If you want to become a subscriber, the link is in the bio. If you want to book a session, link is in the bio. If you want to get some merch, link is in the bio. All right, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take flight.